So there are a bunch of things, right? One is, of course, I mentioned oil, so that's the economic thing. The other thing is that within India, you have GDP that's also being, in any case, has been very slow. And now we're being told, rightfully so, to stay at home, to spend less time outside, to minimize socializing. And of course, travel has stopped. Travel into India has stopped. And therefore, if Swiss or Lufthansa or British Airways cannot bring passengers into India, then their planes don't come here, and then no one from India can fly out. So flights have been cancelled, kind of all across the world, actually. It will hurt India for sure. It will hurt India to the fact that we'll have much lower economic activity. It will hurt India to the fact that we will not have the potential of encouraging foreign travel into India now. So it happened at the tail end of our tourist season. So we're lucky. Our tourist season is normally November to March. So this has happened at the tail end of that. So we've been lucky. But next tourist season, I doubt people are going to be that much in a hurry to book tickets to Asia. Not only India, but to all of Asia. They may end up being closer to home, given all the destabilization that they've seen now. In terms of the, if we, again, the assumption being made here is that there is no pandemic in India, that it doesn't spread widely, and that because of the good things that the government has done of controlling inward bound traffic and trying to limit the way we move around and trying to encourage us, to kind of stay and work from home, etc., it will limit the damage in India. And if that happens, then we're okay. There'll be some kind of a slowdown. But if it spreads across India, which we know the next week or two, then it could have a much more lasting impact. How difficult will be very difficult to say till we know what that is. So I think in terms of safety, the government's been very proactive and has moved very quickly to ensure that people who are coming in from outside are kind of frozen to some extent. Now, I was traveling and I came back a week ago, just after they announced that they would be screening at the airports. So the screening at the airports is like a thermal gun, to kind of check your temperature, which is nice, but it doesn't do much because you could be carrying the symptom with you. You could be carrying the virus with you without actually showing the symptoms for quite a few days. It could be incubating within you. So the fact that you have that thermal gun is all right, but doesn't serve the full purpose. And we have to wait and see what happens now. If over the next week or 10 days, if the number of cases don't increase rapidly in India, then we're okay from a safety perspective. From an economic perspective, I think there will be a hit on India for a bunch of reasons. One is that it was lucky that the virus and the rules that came into play about banning foreign tourist travel to India happened towards the end of our tourism cycle. So we normally have a November to March tourism cycle. We're already in March and this happened like a week or so ago. So it's come at the end of the cycle. So that's kind of okay. The question is to be raised is what will happen next tourist cycle on international tourism. Domestic tourism anyway is going to be hit. People planning for the summer holidays, which start in India, May, June, July, traveling trips within India, they will not be making those trips. The people traveling outside India definitely will not plan any trips either. So there'll be a bit of freeze on activity. We're being asked, rightfully so, not to go to malls, not to go to crowded areas, not to go to movie theaters, not to travel unless you really have to travel. So all that slows economic activity a lot. And in a way, that's very good. It's good for you to spend time with your family and with your friends, whether on the internet, on the phone, or whatever it is, rather than travel and consume and spend all the time. But at the same time, the Indian economy has been in a real big mess for years. And policy making has been relatively weak. We've not been able to get out of the financial mess that was kind of peaked, if you will, at the IL&FS crisis. We've still got a real estate mess with a lot of unsold inventory across the country in all the metros. We've not been able to solve that problem. We've had a slowing economy because of all this in general, lower financing available, lower consumption patterns, lower economic activity. And now economic activity will obviously be a lot lower too. There is no advantage to economic activity if you're sitting in your home and chatting with your parents. It doesn't add to GDP. It does add to Bhutan's calculation of gross national happiness. That it does. So you're looking at happiness, yeah, it probably does add to that, but not to GDP. So there will be a hurt on India. And even in terms of import-export, the fact that, global consumption is slowing, Indian exports will slow, Indian imports will slow. So anyone involved in any kind of supply distribution chain business, the air freight kind of distribution business, the trucking business, all that will slow down dramatically in our view for the next few months.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.